The following prose passage question can be a bit complicated here. It's asking you to interpret just one very, very short quote from the passage where we're describing the moth. So let's go ahead and read that sentence entirely. As often as he crossed the pane, he being the moth, I could fancy that a thread of vital light became visible. He was little or nothing but life. So this moth was little or nothing other than life, except life. So this moth was life, maybe nothing else, but it was definitely a representation of light. So why would you say that? What does this actually mean? Does it mean that Wolf acknowledges the moth as a living creature? Potentially, but here, if it was all about it just happening to be alive, then you have to assume or that she thought the moth was potentially dead before, and now that it stood for life, that meant that it was a living creature. But no, the moth was nothing other than life itself. So it seems to be a metaphor for life as a whole, not just that this moth happens to be alive. So we can get rid of that one. The moth is symbolic of a universal, joyful energy. Well, energy is a complicated word here. We can say this is a symbol for life, but what about energy? Well, we do see the word energy over and over here. The same energy which inspired the rooks, these living birds, the plowmen, these living men, the horses, living animals, etc., even these non-living bareback downs, so these grassy hills in England. Um, later again we say again the enormous energy of the world was thrust into its diminutive body. So it seems to be more than just life, since the entire world has this, some non living things have it. We're definitely talking about something energetic. And this moth was little or nothing than more than life itself, which might be either a huge part of this energy or maybe a synonym for the energy. So this looks like a good answer choice so far. Let's see if we found something better. The moth is unaware of its approaching death. Well, we don't know this. Maybe the moth knows it's going to die. To the eyes of the author, though, it would seem as though the moth wasn't dying. And again, this has nothing to do with how the moth sees itself, but how the author interprets the moth's movements as a symbol for life. So we can get rid of this one. The moth is a pointless, lesser animal. Well, this doesn't make any sense. If the moth stands for the entirety of life, and every living creature belongs to that category, then the moth is at least as important as all the creatures within that category. I mean, it stands for them all. So it's not going to be inferior to them. Otherwise, it would represent something inferior to a lot of life, a lot of animals out there in the living species world. So we can get rid of that as well. And that would make answer choice B the best answer choice. It seems like a bit of a stretch, but here again, we're saying most likely, and the other answers definitely seemed, not the correct answer. So B is the correct one here. I hope that helps with this problem, and happy prepping.